Hello, so this is the first, excuse the noise in the background.
That's just typical. We just started and someone's got a chainsaw out now.
We are actually in a pub, not car park, garden, by a busy road, and now there's, I don't know what that is.
Someone's decided to chainsaw a tree down.
Chainsaw massacre.
Like they do, yeah. Probably they got locked down, sort of psychotic moment they're having.
Anyway, just adds to the ambience.
Let's hope so.
Of this.
There's a bit of Cyndi Lauper in the.
Yeah, in
Lauper
the tree.
or Lauper? How would you pronounce it? Cyndi Lauper? Cyndi Lauper? I've always mispronounced it Lauper, but there you go.
I used to have a bit of a thing for Cyndi.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that. Girls just want to have fun. Well, we're not girls. We're boys who want to have fun, but I feel like she's singing to us.
She is.
Because let's face it, in these difficult, trying times, we all want to have fun, don't we? While we can. Because
that's what we hope that we bring to
our listeners.
All 11 of you out there.
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully, the ever-growing audience.
Yeah, tell your friends if you've got any.
And your enemies.
Yeah.
But,
if you feel like
this is the first. Is this the first post-lockdown? No,
we're almost going into another one.
Yeah, exactly. So we're preempting the second wave, aren't we?
Yeah.
So
this is like a historical
document.
Record. They've just announced today that from Thursday, pubs and restaurants have to close at 10. But as Ashley said, our local pub shuts at 9 o'clock. So
we get an extra hour.
so we're
it's a win-win, isn't it? Really? Yes. I don't see that as an issue. But so we were going to call this, weren't we? Back to the Cinema. Not very original, but we were going to call it that because us being in the UK, we've just had our cinemas reopen recently, and we've managed to, we decided, didn't we, at our own risk, at considerable risk to our health, and
for you
and everyone else's, and everyone else's health. To hit the cinema again, and there weren't many films. A lot of it is old re-releases of old films. I saw a film before you, Calvin. I went to see The Empire Strikes Back, which was a reissue, which was the 40th anniversary re-release, and I was about one of 3 people in there watching it. So independently of Kelvin, I went to see that, and then both me and Millie went to see first Tenet. I keep wanting to call it Tenet, but it's Tenet, isn't it? Tenet. Or not Tennent's Super, which is a brand of high-strength lager. Or David Tennant. No, he wasn't. He was conspicuous by his absence. And then we went to see Bill and Ted's Face the Music about a couple of weeks after that. So we were going to have a little bit of a talk about those films and what they were like for those out there in radio Spodland who haven't seen those films yet, and in some places I hear, like in America, a lot of the cinemas are still closed, so you wouldn't get a chance to see them anyway, even if you wanted to. Yeah. So UK is one of the few that has reopened its cinemas.
But doesn't seem like many people are going as yet.
No, the times we went, there weren't many people in there, were there? And you've got to wear your masks.
Yes.
And obviously wash your hands regularly, and you have to go in one entrance and out the other entrance, and not huddle around the concession stand and all that malarkey. But it wasn't very. It wasn't inconvenient, was it?
No,
it was quite well policed or organised.
I felt safe.
I did. Or safe or oblivious, I don't know. I mean, I normally walk around in a constant state of oblivion anyway, so no difference really. But just don't touch the door handles. Certainly don't lick them, like apparently millennials have been doing.
Or the urinals.
Don't lick the urinals either. No, definitely. Well, that's been forever, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a good idea.
I always wondered why they call them urinal cakes, though.
Yeah, because
some people might.
It's not something you want for your birthday, is it?
It is a cake.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of a bit.
Try it.
I mean, you could potentially, perhaps there's a grounds for like a lawsuit, because you could say, well, look, it's called a cake.
Yeah.
You should call it something like urinal do not eat.
Yeah.
It really isn't a cake. Tablet. Although people take tablets as well, don't they? So but
it does look like a big tablet.
Yeah, it looks more like a tablet than a cake, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've never seen a
urinal tablet.
Looks like a big sort of ecstasy tablet. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe
it is.
Maybe it is. I'll never eat one. But
I'm not going to try it.
No, I'm not going to. No, I'm sure they're very bad for your health.
And
So so welcome to, and also the first rebranding, isn't it?
it is, yeah.
Go for it. What are we now?
We are Total Colts.
And we are Total Colts because we looked up Total Colts and some bugger's already done it.
Yeah, they've already got a podcast.
And I was so proud of myself thinking of Total Colts. And I patted myself on the back. I patted Kelvin on the back, and then I washed my hands immediately afterwards, obviously, because you're not supposed to get that close to each other. And like, aren't I smart? I come up with a great new name for us because Spodcast seemed a bit low key.
Yeah.
And then I googled it, and some buggers already. Oh, there's a YouTube. Some YouTubers have already got it, haven't they?
Yeah,
So we've added the We Are.
Yeah.
Just like
Cleverly.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Even more cleverly.
Yeah.
Even more smarter.
Because we are.
Because we are clever, you know.
And Total Colts.
Don't let our podcasts mislead you. We are actually very intelligent individuals.
Yeah, we've got degrees.
We have.
I'm not telling you what in.
No. But I'll give you a clue. It's not quantum physics. But yeah, and also so we're like the equivalent of the band The Subs, which apparently there was a band in America.
Subs.
So we're the UK Subs.
Oh, okay.
We're not the UK Subs.
Are they American then?
There was a band called The Subs in America, I think, and then the UK Subs had to call themselves the UK Subs because there was two bands called The Subs.
Oh, right.
So they had to go, we'll just put UK on the front because we're from the UK. But so we are Total Colts, not Total Colts, just to confuse matters. We are Total Colts.
We are.
So you have to say we are Total Colts, don't you? Which sounds really awkward. We are Total Colts. That's how you have to say it.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, maybe we shot ourselves in the foot there.
Shit.
Bollocks. We'll have to rebrand again. But anyway, currently we are Total Colts.
Yeah. That might change.
That may change. At this moment in time, right now, we are Total Colts.
We are. We are.
We are. Oh no, we are. Yes, we are. We are Total Colts. Oh my God, it could go on for infinitum. It could be like we are Total Colts. It's like one of those. I don't know. What do they call it?
I think it adds,
infinity.
Yeah, it adds to the
mystique.
The brand. Yeah.
So the cinema.
Yeah.
We're kind of here to talk about the cinema.
I was really looking forward to.
There's a red ant there. Look.
Yeah, there is. Isn't there?
Are they the ones that buy it?
I don't know.
Because we're sitting on just to give you. Let's illustrate it. Let's give them
paint a picture.
Just paint a picture.
Paint a picture.
It's going to be a bit of a Picasso. We're sitting on a bench in a pub garden, drinking a. What have you got, Kelvin?
I've got a Spitfire Lager, which is a local Kentish.
It is a Kentish ale.
brew.
And I've got a Spitfire ale.
No, you've got Master Brew.
Oh, have I? Oh shit, yeah, because they were out of Kent.
Yeah.
Oh shit, sorry,
Yeah.
So I don't even know what I've got.
Master Brew.
Sorry, they were out of Spitfire ale, weren't they? They wasn't. So yeah, Spitfire ale was off. So I've had to go for a Master Brew, which is also a Kentish ale, isn't it? Shepherd Neame.
Yeah.
Shepherd Neame is the brewery.
Shepherd Neame.
Shepherd Neame, and that is a Kentish
it is.
brewer. So you've got a Spitfire on it, hasn't it? Look at that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're being very Battle of Britain, 80 years.
Yeah.
We're being very patriotic,
We
drinking a British beer,
Yeah.
and we beat the Bosch. We're not personally. So I hope that does paint a picture. It's a very sunny day.
It is. Yeah.
Let's scan our
There's no one else in this
location.
beer garden.
Nope, we're on our own.
Yeah. We've got this as well on the table.
Yeah. Explain that to our listeners.
We've got like a button thing that I guess that we can call for more drinks.
Do you think it's a bit like what Trump's got on his desk, like the button? I think it's a bit like that. He's got like this button they can either set off World War III or all call for assistance.
Well, it's confusing me because it's got 4 different
Oh God,
things.
what's that?
I don't know if.
You've got pay. What's that say? Order.
Oh,
shit,
right.
I was just going to call.
Yeah.
I was just going to press the call button.
No,
what's the call button for? Is that if you're in distress or something? Like help.
Oh
help.
yeah.
I'm being held against my will.
Pay, order, call.
What's that
Cancel.
one? Cancel. So but why wouldn't pay and order just be
Well,
call?
maybe.
Couldn't you, when you go, you
maybe
press
if there's a problem.
Oh, okay. But couldn't you just call and say, I'd like to pay now? Why do you have to? Why is there a specific
we can speak
button?
to them, can we?
Oh, can you not? Oh,
No.
so maybe if you press the pay button, they bring the PDQ thing out with them, and if you want to order, they just bring the tray out with them. But if you call, what happens if you call though?
I don't know.
Where does it go to?
I don't know.
Maybe it's like another dimension or something. I'm quite intrigued now.
Yeah.
And cancel if you like drunkenly.
It is a big red button as well, isn't it?
It is a big red button.
Don't
yeah.
push this.
Don't push the in case of emergency, break glass.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like a little square. It's all screwed down to the table. Where's the Wi? Is it like Wi-Fi then?
It must be wireless, yeah.
It's like it's like alchemy.
Guys,
It's like magic.
fucking amazing this.
It is.
Bloody.
It's
pandemic.
Well, it's caused someone to create this technology. So in a way, it's been good for society, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because now you don't have to fucking stand at. Oh, excuse me. But you don't have to stand at the bar now. I hate standing at the bar. Contrary to what you may have heard, British people don't like queuing.
No.
So now we don't have to because you've got a button.
Yeah.
You can just press and they come to you.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
the way.
That's the way it should be.
Everything should be like that.
Yeah. It's
Push
like
buttons.
It's like the class system has been totally thrown into chaos, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, no queuing anymore.
We become the master.
We are the master of our own destiny.
Yeah, I can push a button and someone will just give me a drink.
Brilliant. And then I tend to forget that you have to pay for it. Because it is so sort of what's the word? It's intangible.
Yeah.
It's like you don't actually think you're spending money. It's like virtual, isn't it?
Would you like another?
And you go, oh yes, please. And then at the end they go, oh, you've got to pay now. It's like, oh shit, I forgot about the paying bit. So yeah, it's a bit worrying. Has caused a bit of a.
Need to eradicate that element of the.
That part of it has added to my existential crisis. Yeah. Really. Yeah, maybe Boris should have said free beer.
I think
free beer for everyone.
That would help.
As much beer as you can drink. As long as you stay 2 meters away from each other and don't mix with more than 6 people.
And you can have go to work.
And don't go to work, but do go to work. But you can have as much beer as you like. It's on the house. Old Sunak should come out. What's his name? Is it Rishi Sunak?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should come out and say free beer.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah, he's been a bit absent.
A bit quiet, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'd vote for that.
I think they've locked him up.
Gove came out and sort of they wheeled him out, didn't they? And he was, oh, Johnny Hockey Stick, sort of made a sort of silly little. What was he talking about, Gove?
I didn't see.
I didn't really listen. I tend to switch off whenever he talks, but he seemed very cheerful about what he was talking about. Like like the sort of he's like the grinning Grim Reaper. And Rees Mogg, they kind of got him out to
show that he's still alive.
Sort of besmirched and put down
he said something
the working class.
Day, didn't he? Yeah. Stop
whinging.
Stop whinging about it.
Yeah. Whinger. Even though he lives in probably a gated mansion with a moat.
With his nanny.
And he suckles from probably. Suckles from the teat. So anyway, that's a sort of political aside. I know, sort of went off a tangent there, but movies, because that's what you're all here to hear about. Go for it.
Tenet.
Not Tenant. It would have been good if they'd cast.
Why is it called Tenet? Why is that?
I looked it up and now I've forgotten what it means.
Is there a?
There is a word. It is a word, but I mean it means something. I did look up the definition of what Tenet means. I think it means like a. Oh God, is it like an organisation, a tenet? Oh no, tenet. Or is it like a pledge?
Oh, is it?
Isn't it like a pledge?
I don't know.
Your tenet, or is that a tenant? Oh, I'm confused now. What's a tenant? Tenant's a word as well, isn't it?
Tenants, like you have a tenant in the house, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Where you rent a house.
A tenant.
They're tenants.
Oh God, I need to find out what a tenant is now.
I wasn't aware of the word.
I wasn't until I looked it up. I kept mispronouncing it as tenant.
At the end of the film, I still.
Well, it's even more. No, I know even less what the word means.
When Michael Caine said, was it Michael Caine who said, "All I've got is a word"?
Tenet. No, that was the American CIA type guy, wasn't it? He was like, the word's tenet.
Just see it.
I can't tell you what it means.
Just see it.
Because nobody knows what it means. Even I don't know what it means. And I've read the script.
And doors will open, wasn't it?
Something like that. Tenets. But David Tennant isn't in it.
No. He was in something I watched last night called Criminal. Have you seen that?
Oh, it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
I couldn't get on with that. I tried watching the first. Is this the first series or the second?
I watched the first.
Wasn't he in the first series?
Yeah, he was in the first.
Yeah, I think he's in the second series as well. I might be wrong about that.
No.
Did you get on with it or?
I thought he was good in that.
They all sat at a desk, weren't they? And
yeah, I thought it was a good idea.
Well, I've put in Tenet and I've got David Tennant. So even Google's confused. Now let's try again. No, David Tennant. Oh God, it's all gone Pete Tong, isn't it? Tenet. Yeah, it's a film, I know that. Where's the definition?
Bear with us.
Oh God.
Yeah.
This technology, I'm old, I'm not used to using technology. Tenet, I'm used to just pressing a button and everything gets done for me.
Answers on a postcard.
Tenet. Yeah, it's going to be definitely like doing a quiz. You can win some merchandise, some We Are Total Cults. We are Total Cults. Merchandise. Definition. A principle or belief a philosophy or a religion.
Oh, okay.
So I was kind of right.
Okay.
Like the commandments, the ten, they're tenets, aren't they?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not Tenet, it's bloody Tenet, all right?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
That was my first issue with it.
Yeah, like what? But I think that, so it starts off on confusing you, doesn't it, by the word?
Yeah.
And maybe it's like an in-joke. Do you think it's quite a meta thing? Maybe Nolan was like, I'm going to fucking confuse them straight off the back by calling it Tenet, and no one will know what that means.
And when the guy asks what it's about.
And even he doesn't know what it's about. No one knows what it's about, do they? The protagonist doesn't know what it's about. I don't think the antagonist never uses the word, does he? Kenneth Branagh never says Tenet, does he?
No.
Only like that operative, whoever he is, who you never see again. He's on a boat, isn't he? And he just says, "Oh, I've got a word, Tenet."
Yeah.
Well, you could just any old, wouldn't it? I've got a word like Miss Mockmaglang. You know, like great.
You could have just been fucking with him.
Yeah, well, wait, they're certainly fucking with me.
Yeah, they fucked with me.
Did you feel fucked with?
Yeah, seriously.
Christopher Nolan seriously fucked with us, basically.
He did, yeah. I'd like to know,
Apparently it has been explained what it's about. Someone has...
Did it make sense?
Probably the way they described it, but it probably needs like a Venn diagram and like a
any film
pie
that
chart.
needs any major explanation, I doubt it's a good film.
I think what we said, didn't we, like collectively, the collective we, the royal we,
the we,
the we are total colds. We. It's getting very confusing. It's almost like it's confusing as Tenet now, isn't it?
I've got a few words for you.
I've got a word for you. We are total colds. we are total colds. Weird. I've lost my train of thought now. What were we talking about? The film. Oh, how... Yeah, if you spend the entirety of the film trying to explain it to yourself, the logic of it, the sort of mechanics of it, that's what I found myself doing. Like, who's he? Where are they? What? Because it plays with time, doesn't it, as well? So, you know, the whole weird chronology of the film is kind of... There's two different chronologies going on, isn't it?
Is it
you can say inversion.
Inversion of time.
Inverted nipples.
Yeah.
Which are an issue, apparently.
They are real.
They are real. And, you know, you should, if you ever got an inverted nipple, all joking aside, you need to get it checked out. Because it can be a sign of a problem. Just share that with you. Anyway.
Or if you've got a third nipple.
With your scaramanga. Which, you know, there is a tenuous link because Christopher Nolan really wants to be Bond. He really wants to be Ian Fleming. Not Ian Fleming. He doesn't want to be Ian Fleming. He might want to be Ian Fleming, but he wants to really make a Bond film, doesn't he?
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Well,
he should do, shouldn't he?
He should do. Which this kind of resembles in a way, doesn't it? It's a bit Bondish.
Yeah.
You've got a scenery-chewing villain in the guise of Kenneth Branagh, who's like a sort of archetypal Bond villain, isn't he? Like, he wants to take over the world, destroy the world. Ha 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 ha.
Very Russian.
He's got his Russian accent from. What did we establish?
I don't know where he
got it from somewhere. I don't know where. Yes, Minsk. But no, he's played a Russian before, isn't he? Was it? I was trying to figure out what he was a Russian. And you said, hasn't he played a Russian before? And I think what it was in. Do you remember didn't they reboot the Bourne Identity with that guy from the Marvel movie, you know, Hawkeye?
Oh yes, they did. Yeah.
Was he in that, or was he in? No, did Chris Pine from Star Trek? Was he in a Jack Ryan movie? Did he play a younger Jack Ryan prequel? Anyway, one of those films, I'm sure Branagh played a scenery chewing Russian. If not, he should have done. So yeah, but I think like what we were saying, like, you know, if you're watching a film, for me, it became an exercise in frustration, trying to figure out where we were in the time, you know, in the chronology of the film, the logic of it all. It began to make my head hurt, and I ceased to enjoy it.
Yeah,
it became like
because of that disjointedness, there was no real narrative or.
Well, I was thinking about it today because I was thinking about like how to explain this. Because I thought we might be doing a podcasting today, and well, I would like just one other thing to say. Like, for me, it was like your maths teacher when you were at school setting you a really difficult mathematical equation, and that it just pissed you off so much that you were like, fuck this shit, I'm just going to work in McDonald's. because this is doing my head in. I just get a shit, dead end job because this mathematics lark just ain't worth it. It's just messing with my mojo.
Yeah.
And that's what I found watching the film. It was like trying to solve a puzzle or like a mathematical equation, and I just gave up on that.
You don't want that when you go to the...
But also, like you're talking about the plot, Branagh's motivation. I was talking to our friend Nikki about it because she'd taken her son to see it.
She liked it, didn't she?
I think she quite liked it. I don't think she understood it either. And even her son is quite good with maths. He didn't understand it either. But it's like as far as I can tell, Branagh, who is he's the antagonist, isn't he? He's the villain, inverted commas. And it seems like his motivation is he wants to basically reset the world, doesn't he? He wants to destroy the world with this sort of bomb thing.
What are those things? Is it a bomb?
Well, I thought it was going to be a nuclear explosion, wasn't it?
There's sections of this thing, and they've all been like hidden, haven't they?
Which is never really explained why.
No.
Oh, it is kind of explained why, isn't it? Like full time, isn't it?
When Branagh was young, he found one in Russia, didn't he?
That's right.
He was, I don't know what he was doing.
He was just
a nuclear plant, wasn't it? He was salvaging.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. To make a bit of money, wasn't he? He was just basically scavenging bits.
Found a big thing.
One of these things.
And there was a letter in there to him, wasn't there?
From the future. Yeah, I mean, it started getting confusing even then, didn't it? So him from the future had sent a message back to the past to younger him to say, take this, whatever it is,
blow up the world.
Blow up the world, and then it's established that he's dying. He's got terminal cancer. And
did he?
Yeah, did you miss that bit?
Yeah.
You were probably still trying to work out what was going on. Like, what time period is this?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's dying, because don't you remember, like, either his long-suffering wife or whatever. Doesn't she say something like, "Oh, you're going to kill your son" or something? Because he wants to basically blow the world up, and like because we've ruined the planet. Yeah. So he's basically humanity's the problem. So we need to just start again and.
Isn't
start
that like the
scratch.
baddie in
It's like
Bond?
the body. It does seem like very much similar to the Bond baddie in No Time to Die. It really does. So that's a bit derivative, isn't it? I don't know what came first, or who knows. I mean, but it does sound very eerily similar to Freddie Mercury's motivation. Obviously, not the real Freddie Mercury. I can't think of his name now. The guy who played Freddie Mercury. Well, that would have been a good film, wouldn't it? Freddie Mercury wants to destroy the world. Because he was terminally ill, wasn't he? So
he was, could have been him.
Could have done that.
Yeah.
He could have implanted some of that. What's that? In like the latest Queen album.
Yeah.
He could have just slipped in some plutonium, or what's that stuff the Russians use?
Oh, Novichok.
Novichok. Could have slipped in a little sachet of that if he'd wanted to. But a bit extreme. Yeah. As promotional sort of techniques go, promote an album.
If you play their albums backwards, there might be
it'll send you insane or something, and you just kill. Yeah, like a hidden message.
There's a film.
There's a film. Freddie Mercury is back. Is he back from the dead? When did he die? 1990. In 1990, he got the diagnosis that he wasn't going to make it. He was, AIDS. Yeah. He's going to die. So he said, right, I'll show these guys. I'll show these guys. God, I don't know where that came from. It was a bit Freddie. But so he decided the next album, like, got Brian on board. Brian, look, the badgers, they will be free. We just need to kill humanity. And Brian was well behind it because he loves badgers.
He doesn't like people.
Because they spade badgers to death, don't they?
Yeah, and they laugh at his hair.
They laugh at his hair. Yeah, he's still got, even though he's like in his 60s, he's still got that curly hair. Yeah. So he's like, he's probably like, Freddie, I bloody agree. So and he's like, well, we're doing this album Innuendo, right, Brian? He didn't care. No. Whatever. Roger Deacon in it. Couldn't give a toss. Whatever. I'll be at home on the farm with feet up. Do what you want. Roger Taylor, what the women as well? Can't you just leave them alive? I'm still vital. And so they slipped in some Novichok into the Innuendo release. That never happened. But in an alternative reality that
somewhere,
Christopher Nolan
in some parallel
might
universe,
have invented. That might have happened because it's
might be happening as we speak.
Yeah. So Hollywood execs, if you think that's a good idea, you've got our email.
Yeah, you know where we are.
Yeah. So I think it's got potential.
I think it has. Yeah.
Well, if Tarantino
it makes more sense than
Tenet. Yeah, exactly. And if Tarantino can do a film about Hitler still being alive, He was alive at the end of Inglourious Basterds, wasn't he? He never killed himself, did he? They killed him.
Yeah.
Didn't they set him on fire or something? With a flamethrower.
Oh yeah.
He was in a theatre, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, yeah. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
If Tarantino can do alternative histories,
why can't we?
Why can't we?
Yeah.
With Freddie Mercury and Novichok and Badgers.
We are total cults.
We are total cults. But anyway, Tenet. Yes, that makes as much sense as Tenet to me. What other musings do you have on it? Like, what is your overriding feelings towards the film?
Very cold
and clinical, like Nolan's direction, you might say.
Yeah.
His Kubrickian framing.
Not anywhere near as clever as Kubrick, unfortunately. I don't think.
It's almost it's the illusion of cleverness, isn't it? Of intellectualism. He's a clever guy. Don't get me wrong.
I think he wants to be Kubrick. He was a genius.
Yeah.
But I don't think he is a genius.
I think we said, like, he's probably, for me, his earlier films like Memento were more successful. He's almost, for me, he's almost gone the whole M. Night Shyamalan thing of, with his films, every film had to have a twist. Yeah. And with this, everything's got to be some deep thinking,
and it becomes
existential
examination. A rod for your own back.
I've got to be even more sort of confusing than my previous film, and
I think that
esoteric
sort of stalls creativity. Yeah. When you're. Yeah.
Well, I think we also said, didn't we? It's a high concept in search of a sort of intelligible narrative. But we're pretentious as well. Yeah. I think we potentially said that. Like you say, it's very disjointed and. On paper it probably sounds like a great idea. I've got these two timelines existing at the same time, like they're coexisting at the same moment. That's probably, I think he probably started with that idea, and then it's like that, and then he wrote a story around it, rather than the story flowing organically. He's got this high concept about time and the structure of the film, and then he sort of wrote back. What do you call it when you factory, what do they call it? You used the word the other day, it's a good word. I can't think of it, it'll come to me later.
Oh, oven ready.
Not oven ready. That's Boris again. It's not an oven ready film, it's an oven ready. It's like an oven ready, it is like an oven ready meal. It's a microwave meal of a film, isn't it? That's what it is, exactly what it is. It's a fucking chicken tikka.
Only it wasn't 3.5 minutes long, it was 2 hours.
It was nearly 3 hours long.
Was it?
Yeah, it's about 2 hours, 40 minutes, I think.
That's just one of those films that I just feel cheated when I come out, because I'll never get those 3 hours back. No.
Reverse engineered, that's the word you use, which is much better than oven ready. You did.
Oh, right.
I don't know when you...
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Sound quite intelligent myself.
It come out of nowhere as well, you just went reverse engineered. Like, fucking what? Yeah, he reverse engineered the plot, basically, for all the story from the high concept, which was the two different timelines coexisting in the same moment, and then formed a story around that. Yeah,
and confused everyone.
I
even thought like the actors looked confused, like the main guy who's Denzel Washington's son. He looked like he didn't know what was going on.
He did look a bit confused, didn't he? I mean, I can relate to that because I was confused as well. But he didn't.
I suppose he was confused.
Well, yeah,
the character was confused.
Yeah.
But he looked. Really
a little bit unengaged, I thought, really. Like it kind of just was happening around him, and
I'd be a bit more
committed,
concerned.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're going to blow. He was a little bit unperturbed by the fact there was going to be this nuclear Holocaust thing,
this time thing. That's okay.
Oh, right. So
I'll accept that.
Also, bullets go backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
That sounds plausible.
Yeah, shit. I've been to parties like that. So he was a little bit too just accepting of it all, wasn't he? And that sort of dry kind of slightly, the scientist who explains, semi-explains. I think even there's a point there where she goes, you don't really need to know the intricacies of it. But, he probably kind of does, doesn't he, really?
But he didn't seem too bothered.
No, he was like, bullets go backwards. Yeah. They go into your gun rather than out of your gun. Yeah. Okay, cool, I can work with that. So, that kind of was slightly disappointing, wasn't it?
And the female, Kenneth Branagh's wife, I thought she was very wooden. She was very tall, very, very tall.
It's very
That's
tall.
all I can say about her, really.
Her performance was tall. She gave a tall performance.
I don't know who she is, or
No.
she looked like a model.
I think she might have been a model
Yeah.
once. Yeah.
You should be a model.
You should be a model. Maybe not an actress.
That's what I thought.
I don't know. But then, everyone was confused. I think the only one who wasn't confused was supposed to, or was Branagh, because he had, it was his plot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But even he seemed a little bit.
Yeah.
He never really explained what was going on, did he either?
No.
And surely he was the main antagonist. It was all down to him.
Yeah, he
should have known, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he should have.
Because it was his plot.
Yeah.
To destroy the Earth. And there wasn't, and there was a lot of exposition, which to me, I'm a real sort of, I'm a real exposition hater.
Are you?
I hate it. I hate when films just stop for like 5 minutes and then explain what's going on. And there's many occasions in Tenet where characters would just spout exposition to each other. But the exposition, generally in a normal film, that's to sort of tie up any confusing plot elements. In this, it just made it more confusing. Even the exposition was confusing.
Yeah.
It was like, I thought I had a handle on it, and now you've just given me some exposition that's confused me even more. So that exposition isn't even serving its purpose.
No.
It's confusion. I don't know, I made that word up. But so Tenet, shall we give it a figure out of 10? I got to say, all that said, it sounds like we're sort of really laying into it. I didn't hate it. Maybe you hated it more than me.
I didn't hate it.
I some of the action sequences were very well, I thought, choreographed and shot, so it looked really good. I did think, and I think this has been a complaint which I've read a lot online, which I agree with, is I thought a lot of the dialogue was very indistinct. The soundtrack was too loud over the dialogue.
Yeah, I would agree with
that. I think we speculated that maybe that was just to cover up how confusing the dialogue was.
Yeah.
So they give them that. I mean, that's conspiracy theory.
Yeah, the dialogue's not important in this film.
Just watch and soak it up.
Marvel at
my ingenuity as a director, my visionary filming skills.
Yeah, it's a director's film, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's not an actor's film.
No, exactly, and very much probably a film graduate's film.
Yeah.
They probably, if you're a film graduate, you'd probably love to sit and analyse and dissect and deconstruct this film.
Yeah.
You probably have a field day doing that. But as a piece of entertainment and cinema and a film, I felt it was left wanting quite severely.
For that reason, I'd give it a 3.
Oh really? Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. Because I don't think.
I mean, that's fair. I think that's fair.
It's got a very limited appeal.
Maybe 5 for me, just because he's being a smart ass, and I sort of admire that in people, even if he didn't pull it off. I admire your balls, Nolan.
Yeah.
Being a smart ass and confusing your audience.
Try not to confuse us.
And spending 250 million on that takes balls, mate. To walk into like Warner Brothers or whatever and say, I've got this film, everyone's going to not understand it. And they go, okay, here's a blank check, Christopher Nolan, because we trust you. We trust you to make a very confusing film.
They still trust him?
I think maybe slightly less, maybe. And they might have to say next time, can you just rein it in a bit, perhaps make it a bit more. I mean, even Memento, which played with chronology, which I do like as a film, even that was more sort of understandable, wasn't it? It was comprehensible. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Intelligible. And that was like, that played with all different times, didn't it? And different perspectives and the perspectives of the characters. Even that made more sense than this. So not a fan.
No.
It was, it wouldn't have repeat appeal for me, really.
No, nor me.
So that was the first film we saw, and then we went. Then we saw something completely. I don't know. I'll get my rating.
It does involve time travel.
It does. Yes.
Yeah.
What is all that about? Is that because in this climate we just wish we'd been any other fucking time rather than now? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe there is an appetite for that.
Yeah.
Just don't go to 2020.
Just get us out of this year.
So we went to see Bill and Ted Face the Music.
We did. Yeah. I was looking forward to this one because obviously you've got fond memories of the others.
Yeah, very fond memories. I think we went to see Bogus Journey together, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we even did time travel. We even did, I believe, for our media studies class, GCSE.
Yeah.
I think we did a review program.
We did.
Not unlike what we're doing now.
Back in the 90s.
91 or 2 was that? So 30 years on.
Yeah.
So not unlike Bill and Ted, we are now revisiting the past.
Yeah.
Because we did a little radio.
What was it called?
A Night at the Flicks.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? No. Was it Night at the Flicks? Sit back.
Open a bag of popcorn and enjoy a night at the. Was it at the Flicks?
I'm sure it was a Night at the Flicks. Do that again because you did the voiceover, didn't you?
I thought it was you.
Oh, was it me? Well, you do it this time.
Sit back, open a bag of popcorn and enjoy a night at the Flicks.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was called, a Night at the Flicks. So we did our sort of Barry Norman thing, didn't we? And we did a thing about Michael Biehn. What did he have out at the time?
Oh yeah.
Would that have been
sinewy good looks?
With his sinewy good looks. Would that have been? What was that film he did with Demi Moore? The Seventh Sign. Was it called The Seventh Sign? Where it was like an apocalyptic. Jürgen Prochnow was in it. He was wasn't he like the angel of death or something? And he came to spread pestilence, and Demi Moore was pregnant, and Michael Biehn was like her lawyer husband who was going to send a disabled guy to death row.
This isn't
like the Freddie Mercury idea. It really isn't, honestly. Google it. It's called The Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense? No, it's another film.
No,
Seventh Sign. I'm sure it's called The Seventh Sign. Because there were 7 signs of the apocalypse, weren't there? Like the seas turning to blood, dead fishes, Jürgen Prochnow in a vest.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, he was one of them. And anyway, I think I can only think we mentioned Michael Biehn in that context because that film had just come out. I can't imagine us mentioning him in any other context at the time. Or was it Terminator 2?
I think it was Terminator 2.
But he wasn't in that either, was he?
No, but I think
he had a cut scene.
Maybe we had mentioned him.
That he was in a scene that got cut.
Yeah.
Possibly. But anyway, we did Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and we mentioned Joss Ackland. And so now, like Bill and Ted, 30 years on? No, 92. What are we now? Oh, I can't do the maths. I can't even figure out Tenet.
That's 28 years, isn't it?
28 years, of course it is. So 28 years later, we are now, we were in a cinema, a very empty cinema again, watching Bill and Ted Face the Music. And like you, I was quite optimistic. I thought I could do with a feel good, everything's been a bit shit this whole year's been shit, isn't it really? I could do with a film that kind of lifts me up, and even if it's a bit thin on storyline, and just something a bit sort of fun. Yourself, what but? There's a but, isn't there?
But it wasn't really much fun, was it? Well, I don't know. I
found myself thinking to me, okay, the previous 2 aren't great works of art, are they?
No.
But they have a sort of energy and an exuberance and a charm.
Yeah.
And for me, this all seemed really laboured and just... I'm not sure. Maybe the actors were having more fun than we were doing it.
Apart from Keanu.
He didn't see. Yeah, he seemed. I thought he seemed really awkward.
Yeah. He looked very uncomfortable the whole way through. He couldn't.
I know he's not a great actor as such, but he seemed very sort of. I'm trying to think of the word. Just the way his movements were very. They weren't fluid. He seemed very measured and awkward. Looking back at the other stuff, and the previous films. There seemed to be a genuine...
There was a real naturalness about
this seemed very sort of, for want of a better word, faked.
Yeah. I think I said to you yesterday, when we talked about it briefly, that it was almost like he was not the original actor.
Yeah.
Like it was someone trying to be...
Ted? Is he Ted? He's Ted. Or was he Bill? I was getting confused. Should I have Ted? Is he Ted or is he Bill? Should I Bill? No, I think he's Ted, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ted Theodore Logan.
Yeah.
I think he's Ted. Yeah.
Well, it was like they couldn't get Keanu, so they got someone else, and he was trying to be Ted from the original films, but he couldn't quite get it.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It is weird, isn't it? Yeah. It's a very strange performance.
And he looked quite old.
He did look quite old, didn't he? And I mean, it seemed to me like Alex Winter, who played, I presume, Bill. I think I'm right. I don't know. You know what I mean? One of them. The other one, the one who isn't Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Alex Winter seemed a lot more like sort of relaxed.
He did,
in the part.
Yeah.
Like he kind of knew how to pitch it.
Yeah.
And yeah, Keanu just seemed very uncomfortable with. That's
almost like he didn't really want to do it, but.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd been bullied into doing it.
Yeah. Come on, Keanu, you know you want to. Yeah. It just seemed very unnatural and not genuine.
I guess he's fashioned this
action
career, hasn't
star
he?
persona,
and it goes totally against that, doesn't it?
Because that was so early on in his career, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, maybe that's some of it.
Yeah.
He left that kind of persona, a long way back.
Reinvented himself. Hasn't he?
Exactly. Since the Matrix and stuff. He kind of reinvented himself as like an action hero, didn't he? So to go back to sort of being a bit of a, like a sort of, for want of a better word, a bit of a dumb. Airhead. Yeah. It's a bit like it would be like I was thinking of this. This is the same thing because recently, I don't know if you saw this, but. I didn't watch it all, but they'd done like it's a charity thing, it was like a Zoom charity thing that a lot of actors did. I think Brad Pitt was there and Jennifer Aniston it was the Ridgemont, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and Sean Penn was there. Yeah. And it's almost like, because he played
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf played him, didn't he?
Yeah.
LaBeouf, whatever. LaBeouf. He played the sort of the surfer dude, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, this kind of, and I didn't watch it all. I don't know. Did you watch it? I just wondered if Sean Penn would even, because he's a serious actor now, isn't he? Basically, like he's a director. He's an actor director.
Yeah.
Would he go back and play that kind of role again? Like a sort of pothead, surfing, airhead kind of character. Would you think that's beneath him now? And that's what I thought there's parallels with Keanu and Bill and Ted, really, in a way. Like. Perhaps he thought it was a little bit beneath him. That I've got to do this shtick again, and I left that behind for a reason.
Didn't seem to have any comedy timing or.
No, exactly. And even their chemistry, because they're supposedly, they try to keep Wild Stallions, the band, going, didn't they, for all these years. It wasn't like two people who'd. It didn't feel like two people who'd sort of hadn't moved on, and they'd basically only. Obviously, they got married in the film, hadn't they? They had their wives and their kids.
But they were pretty inseparable, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. But you didn't get that sense that these guys had been in each other's pockets for like the past 28 years or whatever. I never really got that. It did feel more like, these are two actors playing these two parts.
They haven't really seen each other for.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that was basically. If you haven't got that, which the previous films did have, everything else just crumbles, doesn't it? The whole edifice of it just sort of disintegrates.
And there was very minimal story, really.
Yeah, the story was a bit of a rehash of the previous first one, really, wasn't it? And they put more onus on the daughters, didn't they, really?
Yeah.
So it almost wasn't really a Bill and Ted film.
No.
It was the daughters.
Yeah, and I didn't really, because they were just mimicking
their
Bill and Ted, weren't they?
Yeah, but not that convincingly.
Not that very well.
No.
I don't know if their thought is that could be a spin-off.
I imagine perhaps in the back of their minds, the filmmakers thought was, if Bill and Ted, if Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter don't want to do it, we'll have the daughters spinning off into their own franchise. Yeah. Because that's the thing, isn't it? Like all these franchise movies, like the prequels or whatever you call it, or even the sequels, like they did with Star Wars, they had younger actors taking over the roles, didn't they? Not maybe the characters, but it's like with The Force Awakens, they effectively remade A New Hope, but had young people playing the same sort of roles because obviously the original actors are getting too old, aren't they? They're all in their 60s and 70s. They can't go on forever, so we need fresh blood. So probably there was some of that back in the mind. If this is successful, we can
reach a new audience,
younger audience, the millennials, because obviously they're not going to know who Bill and Ted were. Our generation do, but and that's it's that whole thing, isn't it? Well, we'll get the nostalgia audience like you and I, and we'll get the young ones because they'll be wanting to perhaps, or they connect more with the younger characters in the film. But it just didn't really work. I found it a bit depressing. More than
maybe that's because the age we are and the fact that we remember the first one when it came out.
Yeah.
Do you think that
I think that plays into it.
they're aging, we're aging?
And I'll be honest with you, I probably haven't watched Bogus Journey since the mid-90s,
No.
so I don't know how that holds up in a modern context.
Yeah.
You know, I might watch it now and think, actually, Christ, what the hell did we ever see
Yeah.
in that? But I remember it being a lot more energetic
Yeah.
and inventive.
Yeah.
And even like, you know, there's cameos, you know, spoiler alert, there's like cameos with death in this, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, even that. Yeah.
Even that was quite,
Yeah.
it was quite tired and
Yeah.
a bit lame, wasn't it, really?
Yeah. The only nice touch that I thought there was in it was George Carlin, who played
Yes.
Rufus. His daughter sort of took his real life daughter, takes on his sort of role.
Yeah, the Rufus role.
Yeah, in this, and she references her dad. You know.
There's a lot, like a little holographic
Yeah.
moment with him, isn't there? Yeah.
because I'm quite a big George Carlin fan, so yeah, I thought that was a nice little touch. But that's about it, really. It's not much.
Well, I've heard a lot of people sort of enthuse about it, and whether it's just because there's literally nothing else on at the cinema to watch. I mean, you are so, at the moment, you've been so restricted to what you can watch. Literally, there's just Tenet and Bill and Ted are the new films. I don't know what they're going to do with the future, you know, new releases, or whether they're postponed. I mean, Bond's apparently November, isn't there? If that won't get delayed, I don't know. But is that November the 16th or something, or 14th? It's soon anyway, isn't it? Well, not soon because we're over a month. But yeah, you are basically limited to the choice.
I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't hate it. I think maybe my expectations were higher because I'd heard a lot of good things about it, and I think what made it more. I was more depressed that it didn't live up to my expectation. I think it made me feel a little bit deflated when I came out. Like, oh, what a shame. That was such a misfire.
Yeah, it's a shame they.
I'm sure the intentions were. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure the intentions were good. I mean, by all accounts, they've been trying to make a sequel for years, for decades.
I've heard them talking about it for ages.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think it would happen, but maybe it shouldn't have.
Maybe it shouldn't have. It's just a shame. Yeah, the actual final result was quite poor, and it makes me a little bit worried about this Ghostbusters. I mean, I don't mean they've already tried to reboot Ghostbusters, haven't they? But there's one called Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is the original cast. All the Bill Murray and Aykroyd, all the Bernie, is his name? Black dude. I can't think of his name now, but you know what I mean. So they've got all these surviving members coming back, but again, it's by what I've seen of the trailer, it's them passing on the mantle to a younger crew.
I didn't see the female.
Terrible.
And
I must emphasise, not just because it had women in it, it was just bad. It was, the jokes weren't funny. I don't even know, did I watch? I don't know if I even got to the end of that, because I think it was on Netflix, and I started watching it. And again, a bit like Bill and Ted, Face the Music, the jokes just didn't land. They were just, they fell so flat. It was painful, really, and it was like a bad covers band trying to.
Yeah, because Ghostbusters was Dan Aykroyd. Bill Murray. Can't remember the names of the other guys.
Ivan Reitman? No, he directed it, didn't he, Reitman, didn't he? It's Ivan Venkman, Who played that?
He died,
didn't he? But was he Ivan Reitman? Because no, is he still alive, Reitman?
I think it was it?
Well, I know that his son's directing Ghostbusters Afterlife, so maybe it is Ivan Reitman.
Yeah, but it was the chemistry with
Yes,
those.
exactly. And what we were talking about earlier when we were walking up here, we were talking about Star Trek, which has some relevance to what we're talking about. We were talking about the chemistry between, William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and DeForest Kelley, and it's when you've got something so iconic and like you literally have captured lightning in a bottle, it's so hard to recapture that, isn't it? It's like a one-off, really, isn't it?
It's tempting, though, isn't it?
It's tempting, yeah.
To try.
I mean, to be fair, with Ghostbusters, they made a sequel, didn't they? Ghostbusters 2, and that didn't really recapture the chemistry and the that sort of lightning in the bottle that they had in the first film. Even the sequel didn't capture it, so it could just have been a one-off film that should have been left alone.
Well, it's timing as well, isn't it? The time, the moment.
Exactly.
I think sometimes that moment's passed, hasn't it? You know, long since passed, and it shouldn't be returned to.
Yeah.
Because you never get it back, will you?
And obviously it's been like what I remember seeing Ghostbusters at the cinema, so it was like 84, wasn't it? So how many years has that been?
Yeah.
It's like 30, more than 30 years, isn't it? 40 years? Not yet, is it? 84, 94, whatever it is, a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all, you know, Bill Murray's old, they're all like in their, Dan Aykroyd's old,
Yeah.
they're all like in their late 60s, early 70s, aren't they? So it's not going to be the same as when they were there.
No, and like you say,
vibrant
like Bill and Ted's, it might be a little bit depressing for people of our age.
Yeah, like, oh shit, they've got really old and they can't run.
Yeah, and
they're hobbling.
They're not as funny as they were.
Yeah, the timing isn't quite on point as it used to be.
Not that into it.
Yeah, they're doing it literally for the money.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes across.
Yeah,
It's a cynical sort of thing. So yeah, well that remains to be seen with the Ghostbusters film. But that's the sort of thing I took away from Bill and Ted. It was. I'm not saying they did it just for the money, because I imagine it wasn't a very expensive film to make. It looked quite low budget.
Yeah, it did.
But you know, just maybe slightly misplaced doing another one. You know, good intentions, maybe. But a bit of a failure, really. Which, and I take no pleasure in that, because like yourself, I did want to enjoy it, but I found myself it just kind of just washed over me, really, and I don't even think I might have guffawed a few times. Like,
I think
wasn't even that funny, really, was it?
No.
And because a lot of the scenes, like them getting like the daughters in this case, assembling figures from the past, you know, musicians to form a band. We kind of seen that in the first film. It wasn't anything new, was it? It was very unoriginal. So maybe if you hadn't seen, you know, if you were too young to remember those films, you might think, oh, it's actually slightly more amusing. You know, they meet Jimi Hendrix and, you know, but it's...
Even the bits where they went back, or they went forward in time to meet their...
Even that wasn't funny.
No. They're in different guises, or, you know, they were like alcoholics and...
Yeah, that was probably the funniest scene. Like, if we're picking out, like... you know,
a little cameo from Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl turned up and then disappeared. Even though it's supposedly his house. Obviously, he was just contracted to film that day. That's what got me. Like, apparently they've broken into Dave Grohl's house, hasn't they? Like,
pretending that they're.
Well, they're trying to find the ultimate song, aren't they? Like the unite the world or the universe. And Dave Grohl turns up and then he calls the cops, and then you don't see Dave Grohl again.
No.
This is supposedly his house, unless he's done a runner, and perhaps he's got a bunker that he hid in.
He's got a panic room.
He's got a panic room whenever people try and break into his house. For his stalkers or whatever. But it was a bit shambolic, really. I thought that scene. But I meant the ones where they're doing like open mic night. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah.
And Ted's like an alky, as they're just drinking, and that raised a bit of a titter. Yeah. You know, if we're looking at sort of pluses in the plus column, but like you say, a lot of the humour just didn't really land, did it? It was bit sad, really. So disappointing. So anyway, that's our
what would you give it out of 10 then?
Oh, if we're giving ratings now, we go 10 out of. I've got to say, probably. I don't know. Would I watch it again? I don't think I'd watch it again.
No.
And I was a bit disappointed watching it when we were watching it. I don't know. It's a middling 5 probably.
I think I'd give it 5 for the nostalgia factor.
Yeah, maybe for the nostalgia value.
That's about it, really. Not for any of the content or anything.
No. And again, I don't take any pleasure in saying that, but it's a shame. Really a missed opportunity, maybe a little bit. Maybe the script needed a bit more work.
More fun with it.
Well, that was the thing. It was too much of a rehash of previous films. Maybe they should have more fun with the format.
You know, obviously, they were in a rush during the film to find the song, but the whole thing seemed like a bit of a rush. Like, let's just get it
out of the way,
get it done.
No, I agree with you. They
didn't take any time.
Didn't really flow, did it? No, it was just, it's episodic, wasn't it? It was very episodic. I mean, I think the previous ones, Bogus Journey, I think had more of a long form narrative, if I remember correctly. mean, it's a long time since I've seen that, but that didn't have the episodic nature of the first film, which literally was collecting musicians from different times to get them together. But why just rehash that? Do something a bit different, and like you say, play with the idea. Play with it. You've got like all time and space.
That's right.
To mess with, and
it was a bit lazy.
That's the word. There you go.
Leave it on
that. I think that's, you've encapsulated how I felt about it, really. A lazy sequel, and we don't really want any more of those, do we, really? Because we've had enough of those of late.
No. Wayne's World maybe next.
But it got me thinking about it. I was thinking, I mean, has Mike Myers still got it in him? I mean, he's been kind of semi-reclusive for a long time, hasn't he? I haven't really seen much of him.
I bet they must ask from time to time.
Well, Austin Powers, they talk about that, don't they? But again, in this climate, that was quite un-PC, incredibly un-PC, some of it. So would that wash these days? I don't know if the time, maybe that's a product of its time as well. And the same with Wayne's World. I mean, but they could literally do like a really dark, you know, how like Wayne's World, really they are just like drunk failures, and you know their show got cancelled, and how do they deal with that rejection? And you know, you could do like you could do a spin on it. You could make it a really black, dark comedy. You know, but I don't know. Maybe that's one idea. But will they revive that? I mean, they've revived almost every other franchise, haven't they?
If the money's right,
so, I guess if the money's right. But as far as I can tell, like Mike Myers is semi-retired, isn't he? Talking of Freddie Mercury again, he had that cameo in Bohemian Rhapsody, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Don't you remember? You've seen that?
Oh,
yes. He was the manager, wasn't he? EMI
that's
manager
right.
or something.
He pops up.
Occasionally, he'd do a cameo, wouldn't he? With a wig on or a prosthetic nose or something. He's still keeping his hand in. But
he doesn't. He doesn't seem to really enjoy the.
Maybe he's lost the enjoyment of it, of the performing or acting or whatever. Perhaps he'd rather Austin Powers and Wayne and Garth are laid to rest. But like you say, the lure of money is quite a lure, isn't it?
Incredible thing.
It's quite enticing. So anyway, do the wrap up.
Well,
I'm going to press the button in a minute.
So I think that's our first two films since lockdown eased. We hope to bring you more
We Are Total Cults.
More We Are Total Cults, and we'll let you know if we change the name again. But I think we'll leave it there.
I'm just going to press the button now, and I hope I don't end all of humanity. Goodbye. Did that work?